If you have a FANUC CRX robots, you probably couldn't find many information online or on YouTube about how to connect this guy with the PLC, especially Allen Bradley PLC. So I had a hard time to find information, spent hours on internet searching, and I finally figured it out. So today I'm going to show you how to do the connection. So first thing I will show you is the hardware, how to connect wires between the robot controller to the AB PLC. So you will need a Ethernet cable. Where to plug this in? The port is inside of the FANUC controller. First you need to open that up. If you're not sure how to open that up, you first need to get a flathead screwdriver. Pull this, that's a lock. Gonna rotate that so it lines up, and the door should open. If not open, you want maybe pull this. You want to turn this off and gently pull this knob counterclockwise a little bit, so it will pop this door open. So once this is open, the Ethernet port, it's hidden right there. There are 3 Ethernet ports, and I searched online. It says the first one, the top one, is a primary used for Ethernet communication, so make sure you plug into that one. I looked at the yellow FANUC robots. Inside of those controllers, you only got 2 ports, so this guy is different. And also in the yellow robots, the ports is on the door, but this one is hidden inside. That's something different. So they reserved this hole here. There are phone plugs. You can get rid of the phone plugs, pass through the wires through there, so you can keep your wires all organized. And after you're done, you close in and turn on the controller. The other side of the wire, the Ethernet cable, goes to your Ethernet switch that works with your PLC. So your PLC is probably connected to one of the Ethernet switch, looks like this, and you want to find a spot, plug your robot inside here. So this switch gonna be connected to both your robots, PLC, and your PC as well. So our PLC has this Ethernet, goes to the same switch, and also the PC, in this case, I would need this USB Ethernet adapter. It's also connected to the same Ethernet switch here. That's something to keep in mind. So one step, this should be probably the first step on your teach pendant. You need to set up. If you want to establish communication, is you need to go to your systems, go to configuration, and there is one setting, remote IO, and you want to set that to true. Let's see here. Yeah, there's no, you can't screw here. Okay, it's the touch screen is not as good as the classic teach pendant. So here, let me see where it is. You want to change one of this, yes, number 42 here. You want to change the remote local setup to remote. That indicates the you're gonna use, like, such as Ethernet to communicate. Yeah, make sure that's switched to remote here. How to change that? You can highlight whatever that 42 option is, and there's a choice. You can click that, and it will bring up all the choice you can pick. In this case, we picked remote. Yep. Yeah, that's one of the very important steps. Make sure you do it. So once you have the correct connection between your PLC, PC, and the robots, the next very important step is to make sure all three devices share the same subnet. I learned the hard way there. So you want to go to your PLC controller setting, double check what is the subnet or network subnet mask. Make sure that number matches with your PC subnet. So to check your PC subnet, you can go to the command window and type IP config. So it will tell you what is IP address, subnet information about your PC. So right now I have them matched at 255, 255, 248, 248. So they match. Once they match, they can communicate, but make sure they have unique IP address. Another IP address you want to make sure is on your robot. Your robot must be in the same subnet mask. So one way to check that is go to your teach pendant. Okay, on your teach pendant, there's a way for you to check what's the IP address on this robot and what is subnet address. So one way to check here is go to the menu, and you want to extend to the bigger menus here. So you want to go to setup menu. Under setup, there is a option is called host communication. So once you click that, it will bring you to this page. This is under host communication, the first TCP IP. This is where you check the information. So once the first one is highlighted, come here, click detail. Once you're in the detail, it will tell you what is the robot name, IP address, subnet, mask, and other informations. So yours is gonna be different. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come here, change or modify this subnet mask to the same number as your PC and PLC. In this case, I have them all matched at 248. And you also want to set up the unique IP address for your robot. Make sure all PC, PLC, and robot has different IP address. Then underneath here, there are different spots for you to type what is the host computer and PLC's IP address. So here I already typed up. Those are the computers, PCs, and PLC I want to communicate with. I tap their IP address. Once you're done with typing addresses, come here, go to the next page, next option, click the initialization, and click yes. This way you don't have to power cycle your robot again. All right, once it is initialized, you can come here, highlight, for example, PC. You want to make sure if they can communicate. You can come here, click the arrow again. There's another menu option is called ping. You can test the communication. Let's click ping. Now you can see here it says succeed. All right, now if we want to test PLC's communication, come here, click ping. Success. Nice. So once you reach this step, you are almost there. That means they are able to communicate, talk to each other. Now you just need to set up a couple things in the Studio 5000 and a couple things in the Teach Pendant. Now let's go to the Studio 5000 first. But once your PLC is ready, then you can come here. One thing to set up is let's see, IO. Go to user operation panel. Under UOP, you need to mapping out the input and output, and that's something you have to do. So we can start with input. Again, the input here will be the output coming from the PLC. There's a button here you push, it will switch between input and output. Now we're in the input section. You see there are a couple of default user input. There are 12 of them. So what I learned from other videos is you just need to use the first 8, and you want to configure this. So here there's a button to configure. So under configuration, this may be a little bit different from the yellow FANUC robot teach pendant. So here I already configured all my input. I used first 8. For some reason, it doesn't allow me to change the range from 1 to 8, so I have to change it manually from 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, all the way to 8, 8. And for each user input, you would need to change the rack number to 89. That's the correct number for the Ethernet communication, and change all of them to slot 1. For the starting number, I'm not quite sure, so I just start with 21, and the second one start with 22, so on and so forth, all the way to 28. Once you change those, and you want to make sure also change the output. So let's switch to output. So under output, you want to do the same configuration. Oops. There's no configuration needed. Oh, yeah, we're already in configuration. On the output, you want to change them. I changed the first 8, same output, 1 to 8. I select rack number all the way to 89. They all have the same rack number, slot number, and starting number start 21, 22, all the way to 24. And again, in the output sections where it doesn't allow you to change the range, so you kind of have to play with what you have. So here is a 1, 1, 2, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why I couldn't change them, but if you set them to 89, you will define them as Ethernet communication. Cool. So that's one of the important settings you'll need to do on your teach pendant. One thing to add here is once you're mapping out your input and output, you want to cycle power your controller. So once you open your Studio 5000, go to Who Active. If all 3 devices share the same subnet mask, you should able to see them show up under the same Ethernet module. Right here, not sure if you can see this. Under this same Ethernet, I have both PLC and my robots, FANUC robots. So good news, congratulations, you made this far. Now what we need to do is maybe set up the project path. Good. Now in the Studio 5000, you want to go to the Ethernet module here and add a new module for your robot. So you come here, right click, create a new module, and you can, in the search bar, you can search generic Ethernet communication. Create that one, give it a name. Let's see if I want to call it FANUC robot. Okay. And a couple things to set up here is you want to change this data type to just INT, not DINT. And here it is the IP address for your robot. You want to type that in there. And you also need to set up some of the input output connection parameters. So here we're going to type 101, change the size to 4 bits. Down here we're going to change to 151, change it to the size of 4. And change the configuration to 100. Okay. Now we have name, we have data to INT, we have robot's IP address, and all the connection parameters. We can click OK. Yes. Now it will bring you to this page. So this page here, if you go to general, that's what you just typed. Again, once you create this, you are not able to come back here to change the data type. I haven't figured out a way to do that. So under connections, things you need to change is change this to maybe 30 milliseconds. That's it. Once you're done changing that, you can click OK and apply. Oops. Apply. Then just OK. Good. Now you have this robot module created. You can go to control text. And so the robot controller input output will show up here. Can look at them. So 4 bits. Yep, good. So that's input, and those are output. Cool, awesome. That's the setup on the PLC set. So you can change those input, right? Change those outputs so you can control the robot, and also you can read the inputs from the robot on the Studio 5000. So that's all the setting you need to do, and the rest of the work is just creating programs that works for you